My husband cheated and fathered a child with another woman, then demanded I accept the kid and use our savings to support them, shattering our 7-year marriage. I refused, faced his family's guilt trips, and now struggle alone as he moves out, leaving me with mounting bills. Hi, I'm Sophia, I'm 32. I've been married to my husband, John, for 7 years now. We met back in our mid-20s at a mutual friend's barbecue. Nothing fancy, just burgers and cheap beer in someone's backyard. He was charming back then, all dimples and dumb jokes, and I fell for it. We got hitched 2 years later, settled into a little apartment, and I thought we had a solid thing going. Sure, we had our fights, mostly about stupid stuff like whose turn it was to do the dishes or why he kept leaving his socks on the couch. But it was normal, you know? Or at least I thought it was. Turns out, I was wrong about a lot of things. About 6 months ago, my whole world flipped upside down. John sat me down one night after dinner, spaghetti, because it's cheap and I'd had a long shift at the store where I work, and he looked me dead in the eye and said, "Soph, I've got something to tell you." I figured maybe he'd dented the car again or forgotten to pay the electric bill. Nope. He told me he'd been cheating on me for over a year with some woman he met through work. And then came the real kicker. She had a kid. His kid. A little boy, 3 years old. And now John wants me to step up and accept this kid into our lives like it's no big deal. I just sat there, fork still in my hand, sauce dripping onto the plate, staring at him like he'd grown a second head. "What do you mean, accept him?" I finally managed to say. He went on this whole spiel about how he can't abandon his son, how he's a dad now, and how he wants us to be a family. All 3 of us, plus this kid I didn't even know existed until 5 minutes ago. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. My hands were shaking so bad I had to put the fork down before I dropped it. I asked him how long he'd known about the kid, and he admitted he'd known for months, but didn't know how to tell me. Great. Perfect. Thanks for the heads up, John. That night, I barely slept. I kept replaying it in my head. Every time he'd come home late from work, every excuse about meetings or traffic. It all clicked. I felt so stupid. I work retail, 12-hour shifts sometimes, running around helping grumpy customers find the right size jeans or restocking shelves, and he's out there playing house with someone else. I cried until my eyes were puffy, then got mad, then cried some more. Our apartment's small, just a 1-bedroom with creaky floors and a leaky faucet we've been meaning to fix, so I couldn't even escape him. He slept on the couch that night, but I could still hear him snoring like nothing was wrong. The next day, it got worse. He started talking logistics. He wants to use our savings, money we've been scraping together for years, mostly from my paycheck since he's been between jobs for a while, to help support this kid. School supplies, clothes, doctor visits, you name it. I lost it. "You're kidding me, right?" I said. "You want me to pay for your mess?" He got all defensive, saying it's our money, and he's not asking for much, just a little help until he figures things out. I reminded him that I'm the one busting my butt at work while he's been sitting around figuring things out for months already. We've been saving for a down payment on a house. Our dream, or at least I thought it was. Now he wants to drain that for a kid that's not even mine. I told him no way, and he stormed out, muttering about how I'm being selfish. Then his family got involved. His mom called me the next afternoon. I was still in my work uniform, exhausted from a shift where I'd gotten yelled at by some lady over a coupon, and she laid into me. "Sophia, family is family," she said, like I'm the one who screwed up here. "That little boy didn't ask to be born. John's trying to do the right thing, and you need to support him." His dad chimed in on speakerphone, saying I'd regret it if I tore the family apart. I wanted to scream. I didn't cheat. I didn't have a secret kid. Why am I the bad guy? I mumbled something about needing time to think and hung up. My head was spinning. I love his parents. They've always been good to me, brought me soup when I had the flu, helped us move into this place, but now they're acting like I owe them this. Meanwhile, my best friend Ava, she's 31, works at a coffee shop, and has zero filter, has been on my case too. I told her everything over drinks a few days after John's confession. We were at this dive bar near my place, the kind with sticky tables and a jukebox that only plays old country songs. I spilled it all, every ugly detail, and she slammed her beer down so hard it sloshed everywhere. "Dump his sorry butt," she said. "He doesn't deserve you. You're too good for this crap." At first, it felt good to hear that, someone on my side, you know? But then she wouldn't let it go. Every time I talk to her now, she's pushing me to leave him, texting me articles about red flags and toxic men. Last week, she even showed up at my apartment unannounced with a bottle of wine and a list of divorce lawyers she'd Googled. "I'm just looking out for you," she said when I told her to back off. I get it, she's worried, but it's my life, not hers. Now I'm second-guessing everything. Am I weak for not leaving? Is she right? It's too much. And then there's the other woman. Let's call her, because I don't even want to say her name. She started dropping the kid off at our place. Like, no warning, just showing up at the door with this little boy who looks way too much like John. The first time it happened, I was in sweatpants, trying to relax after work, when the doorbell rang. There she was, all smug, holding this kid's hand. John said it was fine, she told me, brushing past like she owned the place. The kid just stood there, clutching a toy truck, staring at me with these big eyes. I didn't know what to do. John wasn't even home. He was running errands, so I had to deal with it. I let the kid sit on the couch, gave him some water, and texted John to get his butt back here. The whole time, she lingered, chatting about how co-parenting takes teamwork. I wanted to throw something. This is my home, not her daycare. It's happened twice more since then, and every time, I feel like I'm losing my mind. My own family's no help either. I called my mom a couple weeks ago, just needing to vent. She listened for a while, then sighed and said, "Marriage is hard, sophomore. Sometimes you have to forgive and move on." She's big on keeping the peace. Always has been, ever since I was a kid, and she'd smooth over fights between me and my brother. But then I told my dad, and he flipped. "That jerk doesn't deserve you," he said. "Pack his bags and kick him out. I'll come help if you need me." He's always been protective, the type to scare off my high school boyfriends with a glare. Now they're both calling me every other day, mom begging me to work it out, dad asking if I've handled it yet. I'm stuck in the middle, and it's tearing me apart. Work's been a mess too. I manage a clothing store at the mall, nothing glamorous, just folding shirts and dealing with cranky shoppers. But lately, I can't focus. I snapped at a coworker last week over something dumb, like who was supposed to sweep the break room, and my manager pulled me aside to check in. I mumbled some excuse about stress, but I could tell she's annoyed. I'm picking up extra shifts to avoid being home with John, but I'm so tired I keep screwing up, ringing up wrong totals, forgetting to lock the back door. If I lose this job, we're screwed financially, especially if John keeps pushing to dip into our savings. I keep thinking about how he got here. John wasn't always like this, or maybe he was, and I didn't see it. We used to have fun. Back when we were dating, he'd surprise me with takeout after my shifts, or we'd binge dumb reality shows on the couch. Even after we got married, things were good for a while. We'd talk about kids someday. Our kids, not some random affair baby. I wanted that with him. Now I look at him, sprawled on the couch scrolling his phone while I'm scrubbing dishes, and I don't even recognize him. He's still got that same goofy grin, but it doesn't hit the same anymore. Last night was the breaking point. We were arguing, again, about the money thing. He brought up the savings for the 100th time, saying the kid needs new shoes, and it's only a couple $100. I snapped. "Why don't you get a damn job then?" I yelled. He's been looking for months, but I haven't seen him send a single application. He got quiet, then said, "I'm trying, sophomore. This is hard for me too." Hard for him. I laughed, ugly, bitter laugh, and told him to sleep on the couch again. I locked the bedroom door and cried into my pillow until I passed out. I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to leave, pack my stuff, crash with Ava or my parents, and wash my hands of this. But we've built a life together, 7 years, this apartment, all those memories. And yeah, I still love him, or at least the guy he used to be. Then there's the kid. He's innocent in this, just a little boy with John's nose and a shy smile. I feel bad for him, but I didn't sign up to be his stepmom. Every time I see him, it's like a knife twisting, proof of what John did, right there in my living room. I've been lurking on Reddit a lot lately, reading posts about people in messes like mine. It's comforting, in a weird way, knowing I'm not the only one dealing with crap like this. I keep wondering what you all would say. John thinks I'm being unreasonable. His family's on my case. Ava's ready to burn his clothes, and my parents can't agree. I'm just trying to keep my head above water, but I feel like I'm drowning. So, Reddit, tell me, am I the bad guy here? Am I out of line for not wanting to play happy family with his affair kid and shell out my hard-earned cash for it?
Update incoming.
Update. This is what has happened since then. So, it's been about 3 months since I last posted here, and holy crap, a lot has gone down. I've been meaning to update you all because things have gotten wild. Some stuff I saw coming, some I didn't, and honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it all. Thanks for all the comments on my last post. By the way, they really help me feel less alone. I've been lurking on Reddit more than ever, and I figured it's time to spill the latest. After that big blowout with John about the money and the kid, things didn't exactly calm down. For a while, we were just coexisting, him on the couch, me in the bedroom, barely talking unless it was to argue. I was still reeling from him asking me to accept his affair kid and dip into our savings. But then he dropped another bomb about a month ago. He came home one night, reeking of cheap beer, which should have been my first clue something was up, and told me he's moving out. Not to be with her, the other woman, but to get his own place so he can have the kid over more. He said he's tired of walking on eggshells around me and wants to focus on being a dad. I just stared at him, dumbfounded. Like, okay, cool. You cheat, blow up our marriage, and now I'm the problem? I didn't even fight him on it. I was too exhausted. I just said, fine, go. And that was that. He moved out 2 weeks later. Packed up his stuff, mostly clothes and that stupid gaming console he's obsessed with, into a couple duffel bags and left. The apartment felt so empty after he was gone. I'd gotten used to the tension, the sound of him shuffling around, even his snoring. Now it's just me, the creaky floors, and that leaky faucet we never fixed. At first, I thought I'd feel relieved, but it's been weirdly lonely. I keep finding little reminders of him, like a sock under the couch or his old coffee mug in the cabinet, and it hits me all over again. 7 years, gone. I don't miss the fighting, but I miss what we had before all this crap started. John's been texting me nonstop since he left, though. Not apologies or anything useful, just logistics. He's got this rundown studio apartment a few miles away, and he keeps asking me to help out with stuff for the kid. Last week, he had the nerve to ask if I could send him $50 because the kid's daycare payment was late. I laughed out loud and texted back, "You've got a job now, right? Figure it out." Oh yeah, he finally got a job, some warehouse gig, part-time, which he brags about like it's a gold medal. I'm not sending him a dime. Our savings are still in the joint account, and I've been too paranoid to touch it, worried he'll try to pull something. I'm thinking of moving it to my own account, but I haven't had the energy to deal with the bank yet. Ava's been my rock through all this, or at least she's trying to be. After John left, she came over with pizza and a six-pack, saying we should celebrate me being free. She's still on her kick about how I'm better off, and I get it. She hates him for what he did. We spent that night eating pepperoni straight out of the box and watching trashy reality TV, which was nice. But then she started getting pushy again. She's convinced I need to get back out there, and keeps trying to set me up with random guys from her coffee shop. Last weekend, she dragged me to this bar to meet some dude named Mike. Tall, bearded, seemed nice enough, but I was so checked out I barely said 10 words to him. Ava got mad when I told her I'm not ready, saying I'm wasting my prime years. I snapped at her, told her to back off, and we haven't talked much since. I feel bad. She's just trying to help, but I can't handle her bulldozing my life right now. The kid situation's gotten messy too. John's been having him over at his new place, which I only know because he won't shut up about it in his texts. He loves the park nearby. He's so smart, soft, you'd like him. Like I'm supposed to care. But then, out of nowhere, she, the other woman, showed up at my door again last week. No warning, just her and the kid, same as before. She looked frazzled, hair all messy, and said John was supposed to take him but bailed because of work. She asked if I could watch him for a couple hours. I was so stunned I almost said yes, but then I caught myself. "Are you serious?" I said, "This isn't my problem." She got all teary, saying she's overwhelmed and John's unreliable, and for a split second, I felt bad for her. Then I remembered she slept with my husband for a year, and I shut the door in her face. The kid was out there with her, clutching that same toy truck, and I felt like a monster. But what was I supposed to do? Babysit my husband's affair kid? No way. That's when the new problem hit. A couple days after that doorstep fiasco, I got a call from my landlord. Turns out John stopped paying his half of the rent when he moved out. Big surprise. And now I'm on the hook for the full amount. I've been picking up extra shifts at work, but retail doesn't exactly pay the bills when you're suddenly solo. The landlord's giving me until the end of the month to catch up, or he's threatening to evict me. I confronted John about it, and he swore he'd figure it out, but I'm not holding my breath. I've been crunching numbers, and even if I drain what's left of our savings, I'll barely scrape by. I can't afford this place on my own, not with the hours I'm pulling. I've started looking at cheaper apartments, but the idea of moving, on top of everything else, makes me want to scream. This was our home, you know? And now I might lose it because of his mess. Work's been brutal too. I'm so stressed I can barely function. Yesterday, I rang up a customer's stuff wrong 3 times in a row, and she complained to my manager. He pulled me aside again, said I need to get it together, or he'll cut my shifts. I almost quit right there. I'm so sick of folding shirts and smiling at rude people, but I can't. I need the money more than ever. I've been coming home exhausted, crashing on the couch because the bed feels too big now, and just staring at the ceiling until I pass out. John, meanwhile, seems to think he's some kind of hero. He called me last night, going on about how he's stepping up for the kid and how I should be proud of him. I told him he doesn't get a gold star for cleaning up a mess he made. He got quiet, then said, "I still love you, sophomore. We could still fix this." I hung up. Fix this. He's delusional. But part of me, stupid, stubborn part, still wonders if he means it. I hate that I even care. I'm at a breaking point. The rent thing's got me panicking. Ava's mad at me. John's playing martyr, and I'm stuck dealing with his kid drama whether I like it or not. I keep thinking about that little boy's face when I shut the door, innocent, confused, and it messes with me. I didn't ask for any of this, but it's all crashing down anyway. I've been scrolling Reddit again, reading your takes, and it's the only thing keeping me sane. So what do you think? Am I screwing up here? Am I the one at fault for not bending over backwards to fix everyone else's problems?
Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our daily updates.